Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majewski back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Studios with your Talking Live forecast update here on your January the 29th, 2026. Well, never a dull moment in the weather world, that's for sure, as we're tracking another potential winter storm for this weekend and some bitterly cold temperatures. And we do get to modify a little bit next week. I'll show you that on the 7-day. But before we get into this full report, if you're new here to the Talking Live broadcast channel Facebook page, please give us a follow. And if you happen to be watching over on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future weather updates just like these. Very important. Please do that. All right, let's go ahead and start off and take a live look there in Chattanooga as we're looking at, again, some pretty decent weather out there. It's at least not precipitating. At least the winds aren't bad, but we are going to have to deal with the cloud cover. And again, not going to see much in the way of sunshine until we probably get until Sunday, but even then it's going to be pretty cold. Looking here across Lake Chattooga, also dealing with the cloudy conditions there as well, as the lake level is still dropping off there, and hopefully we'll get some more rain in there in the days ahead. And this picture, I promise you, is going to look a lot different potentially next week with some of that snow that this area is probably going to see. Current watches and warnings. Now, right now, we're not seeing a lot of East Tennessee and Northwest Georgia on the current watches. You got the winter storm warnings up there in the Smokies. You got the watches here across North Georgia. That could change potentially when I show you the European model here, and some of the models are kicking out. We may add additional counties to this. It's just something we have to wait until probably tomorrow to really kind of fine tune. Local radar is quiet, should remain that way for tonight and for tomorrow. Again, maybe a isolated shower or flurry late in the day tomorrow, but the real significant stuff doesn't come in here until we get into Friday night and into your Saturday. Looking at your satellite picture, we're dealing with a lot of dirty skies, kind of maybe some filtered sunshine from time to time, but generally mostly cloudy, and I think we'll see similar conditions here for tomorrow. So a lot of the forecast today is going to be kind of like a carbon copy forecast going in for tomorrow as well. Regional radar showing our temperatures there in the 30s. Should see a lot of people kind of topping out in the lower 40s for afternoon highs for today as we got this old boundary kind of strung up across the southeast. And as we go and look at our model data, we're going to first take a look at our 3-kilometer NAM. That's our high-resolution model data. Again, we're okay for tonight. You don't have to worry about tonight. We're looking pretty quiet here and going in for tomorrow. Again, no issues here throughout today going in for tomorrow. Got the little disturbance back off to the west. It's going to sink off to the south. But going into tomorrow night, you notice that snow up there in Kentucky starts to work its way down, and those blue lines are shifting downward. That's the colder air filtering on into the area as what we call the heights are dropping. That means the cold air is just getting colder and going further and further down to the ground here. And as it does so, it's going to act like a bit of a sponge. So by the time we get toward midnight, you notice we're starting to see some very light snows here erupting here across portions of East Tennessee and Northwest Georgia. Here's our polar vortex back here that's dropping down to the south. And it's still favoring the eastern zones for the heavier precipitation, but you still could get some snows there across East Tennessee. Look how much of the snows are erupting there going into Saturday morning there and across North Georgia. And then the heavier snows in that darker blue start to kick in as we head toward the morning hours there across Northeast Georgia and stripping on down the south there by noontime. Still got flurries there. Looks like it stops across East Tennessee as we head toward the late afternoon hours and just plain old frigid and cold here across the area. Again, that's the latest NAM model there. Let's look at the European. It'll take us off a little bit further here, showing a very similar picture here as we go into your Saturday morning. Again, looking at that snow across the area. So with that polar vortex coming down and squeezing that atmosphere down, could see a light dusting across the area. So again, the heavier snows are in there in the blue zones, and looks like quite a bit there across northeast Georgia potentially, especially. And this moves on out to sea. Boy, look at this. We're talking snows down to the coast. Savannah, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, all getting snow. Yeah, it's looking very likely with this thing as this goes on by, and then kicks on out of here as we go into early next week, and temperatures rebound just a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at your snow totals here. Looking first at your NAM totals here. Again, you notice we got not the blues. The blues are like 2 inches plus, but you're still seeing half-inch to 1 inch. That's definitely enough to cause problems on roadways, especially as cold as it's going to be. So, again, could not rule out any kind of winter weather advisory at minimum across East Tennessee and parts of Northwest Georgia. But, again, this model is favoring the heavier snows here across the eastern zones here across Georgia. Now, the European, a little bit different. As we take a look at the European model here, it's definitely heavier with the snows, and it is actually accumulating some higher amounts here across East Tennessee, anywhere from 2 to 3 inches. So, again, not really willing to kind of ride out Tennessee just yet. as far as getting any snow out of this, but it's going to be a close call, folks. It really kind of depends on the polar vortex, how that interacts with this developing trough. And boy, I tell you, East Georgia and parts of the Carolinas look like they're going to get hit pretty good with this storm system. All right, let's go look at your forecast maps here as we kind of look at this. Watch this. This is from our friends from the National Weather Service here as we go through the next 7 days. Kind of watch what's going on here. Again, looking pretty quiet here going into your Friday. We got that little low right there along the coast there coming on in here. And then, again, here comes that cold air coming in late in the day on Friday. So we may get some snow flurries in here. Look, going to Friday and going into your Saturday. There's that inverted trough spinning back, and we'll see where the snow is set up here going into Saturday morning. Heavy snows there in that darker blue and through the Carolinas. Boy, I tell you one thing, Charlotte's been complaining about not having any snow. They may get it all at once with this one. And then Sunday, we clear on out, although it's going to be still breezy and cold on Sunday. Many areas going to stay below freezing. And then Monday, we're looking pretty nippy, and then we start to recover just a little bit. Tuesday, not looking bad. Wednesday, we do bring in a slight chance of rain in the forecast. And I think on Thursday, we should clear on out here on Thursday with some improving weather there. All right, so here's our forecast. Let's go and get into this here. Our tomorrow forecast, similar to today, mostly cloudy, 43, 26, kind of in the ballpark what we had here for today. Again, couldn't rule out some late day snow flurries potentially into the area as we go into Friday night. Daytime, overnight lows tonight, generally looking at 20s for most everybody. These are just a couple degrees milder for the most part from what we saw this morning with a mix of clouds around. And if the clouds are thick enough, it may not be quite this cold. Looking at your daytime highs, again, mostly into the 40s. You see that cold air back off toward the west. Some areas may get their highs early and start to fall. Again, we were showing the heights were dropping, so we may hit our high temperatures and then start to chill off as we head toward the evening hours there. Regionally looking like this, 33 in Nashville, 45 in Birmingham, 59 in Savannah, 60 in Destin, and 43 over in Charlotte. And the next 7 days, here we go. Right now, I got the snow chance at only 30%. We'll see how it works out there. May need to bring that up a little bit, especially Friday night and into Saturday morning. 26-19 there, 33-12 on Sunday. And if we get any kind of snowpack at all on the ground going into Sunday morning, those lows could be even colder than that. We do recover on Monday, back up to 44, 49 on Tuesday. Then we got that another week system there on Wednesday with a chance of some rain there. And then we're back cold again on Thursday, 37, 28. So brief warm up, getting close to normal on Tuesday, but then we tumble right back down again with this cold weather pattern. It's going to continue us right into February. So we will have another update for you tomorrow. We'll see the latest on how conditions are going into Saturday, but you need to pay attention to the National Weather Service and watch out for any potential winter weather advisories. This is not etched in stone. No advisories out there just yet, but that could change. So please pay attention. All right, that's y'all's weather update for now. Y'all take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a great weekend or great week. Bye-bye.